Hello and welcome to rhythm number 2 for exercise number 7. This one is very similar to rhythm number 1 in that we're doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so we're adding to the count. And we're still using A, D, and E in this the second fret. So same basics, but we're going to add a different note this time. So instead of just going like this, like in rhythm 1, we're going to add the 5th fret. So your first finger starts on that 2nd fret. So you're still hitting the open A string, and you're adding that first finger on the D string, hitting that, and get the two together. Before we were going, so we'd move that first finger up to the 4th fret. But this time we're going to continue up to the 5th fret, and then go back down to the 4th fret. So the whole rhythm sounds like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then you drop it down one string. And you do the same thing, but now hitting the D string, so the 4th string, and the G string, but with your 2nd finger on that 2nd fret. Go back to the A. If you want to, you can drop to the E. Actually, that's the next thing you do. So you're hitting the 6th string, but you have your first finger on the 5th string, and you hit those top 2 strings. So now the whole thing sounds like this with the basics. Actually added one extra bar in there on the A. Here is the next level up. If you're feeling more advanced and you want to start working your other fingers into this, you can actually take the 3rd finger, instead of moving your first finger up to the 4th fret and then to the 5th fret, you can leave your first finger down because you're going to come back to it, but then use your 3rd finger on the 4th fret and your pinky on the 5th fret. So right now I'm hitting the A string, and I've got my first finger on the D string, or the 4th string, at that 2nd fret. So that's your basic chord. And now I'm going to use these other fingers. Keep your thumb in the center of the back of the neck to make sure you can stretch this far. And here we go. So we go. 3rd finger comes down. 4th finger comes down at the 5th fret. 3rd finger is at the 4th fret. And here we go in slow motion, even rhythm. Faster. Then you can drop it down to D, back up to A, then the E. Now, I'm going to play it full speed, but I'm going to use the right side of my hand, my pick hand, to mute it and give it a little chunkier sound. And I'm going to try not to have timing breaks in between my switches. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if that feels okay for you, you can actually start to do it in slightly different rhythms. I'm not going to get into the details in the lesson book with this, but if you want to try variations just in the way that it flows, instead of doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you can just change the way the rhythm rolls. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, and there's more bluesy shuffle feel. Now I'm really using a lot of that right hand to just past the bridge to really mute that, and it gives it that chunky sound. Need a switch. Now, a nice thing about switching with this particular pattern, so when you have to move your first finger down or up a string, when I do that first part, and my pinky plays through, and then when I'm here on my 3rd finger, and I'm switching, I can actually be moving my first finger while my 3rd finger is being hit, and then I'm ready to go on the next string. So that's a little more advanced. If you just want to do this with one finger, it's totally fine. And I would recommend starting off slow, of course. Okay, that's lesson number 7, rhythm number 2. Next up, another variation on this rhythm.